Well then, hello there, everyone. Welcome to another first edition of TapCaf Transmissions in 2026. Our first in over a month. I'm not sure when the last episode actually was. I'm going to do a quick fact check on this. But I am Corey, one
About
of
a
your
month at
hosts,
least.
joined as will now be always by my extra special co-host, Mr. Eckhartsladder. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back in the big 2-6.
The big
How about you?
2-6. Oh wow, it was November 27th. It's been
Oh, wow.
over
Month and a half.
45 days. Well, we've
Did y'all
taken our
miss us or what?
remedial reading classes, and we've figured out how to read again. Now that Legacy of the Force is over, tonight we're going to be talking about our main topic of discussion is going to be Master of Evil by Adam Christopher. I don't have the dust cover on, so I can't hold it up. There you go. He has it, but it's slightly out of the frame, so there you go. That's better. It's upside down too. there you go. Good job.
Yay.
All right, and joining us is special guest Murphy, Justin's dog.
Yeah.
How is Murphy doing tonight?
Good. And he's getting lumpy. He's 8, so he's entered his lumpy stage. He's got lumps everywhere. It's common with doodles, I guess.
Chewbacca's
Yeah.
son?
Yeah.
So before we really get to it today, I want to complain slightly about YouTube's new studio setup, where all the analytics stuff is towards the top of the window, there's a little cutout of your screen, and then all the analytics stuff that you'd actually want to see is below that, like in the middle of your screen, and it's impossible to have it in a location that makes sense and isn't horrible. So that's really throwing me off. And I had a real field day trying to start the stream. But we're here to talk about an actual book, Master of Evil. But before we get into that, there was a little bit of Star Wars news announced today, where Kathleen Kennedy is officially retiring. Well, actually, I don't know if she's retiring. She's not going to be president
just stepping
of Lucasfilm.
down, I think. Yeah.
So she's going to go spend more time with her fucking frothing hate mail, I guess. And Dave Filoni, and who's the other one? Do you know the names?
It's Dave Filoni and Lin-Win Brennan.
Yes.
He's doing the business side.
Yeah, so new Lucasfilm president and co-president is Lin-Win Brennan. So Dave Filoni is going to be president and chief creative officer, and then Lin-Win Brennan is.
So who's Jason and who's Niathal?
I mean, I guess Dave has to be Jason in that. Not for weird gender reasons, just because he's gonna want to be the one telling everyone what stories they can tell. So Ahsoka both has to be in anything. It is not allowed to be in anything by anyone else. This is the new reality we'll be in, which is the same reality we were in before.
Yeah, nothing will change. I don't know. I don't really feel like talking about this. We've been talking about this for like 5 years. Like not us in particular, also us, but like whatever.
I think our take forever has been woman above the age of 65 will eventually retire, and the worst people on the internet are spending all their time talking about it.
Yeah, I think there's more in the article. The Deadline article has some more kind of nuggets that are worth reading, but I haven't had time to go through it yet. So, like, she talked about people who she's met with and kind of what projects are, working a bit. So,
all right. Well, we'll have, I'm sure, more Star Wars news in the future to go over. We talked about all the games last time when the Game Awards were happening, with our Star Wars Galactic Racer and Fate of the Old Republic announcement.
Was that before or after the disastrous Empire at War update, Corey?
That was before. I've spent the last month trying to fix this issue. Thought I had a fix for it today, a potential one, and then didn't work. I'm very pissed off. I'm gonna cut even more shit from the mod and then put out another test build as soon as we're off this Discord call. But
your shrimp are just in the corner, just like huddling away from you.
Yeah, you can see them right there. That's just a mass of shrimp and snails trying to take cover from my
Yeah.
anger.
Hmm.
But Master of Evil, what are your first impressions?
My first impression is that the cover looks like early AI art of like, and I think I've seen this concept art before. I know it's not, but like, I just keep thinking, oh, that's from Mid Journey in 2023. Um, I don't know. I thought the book was fine. It was, a lot of people complained about the. I like Adam Christopher for one. I think you do too.
Yep. We
Like,
both
like he's
gave Shadows of the Sith like a B or an A
yeah,
even.
B or an A.
I'll check that out.
I wasn't as hot on that as a lot of people were. A lot of people were really hot on Shadows of the Sith. So when this first came out, I thought it was going to be sort of like the new canon version of Darth Vader Shadow Lord, or what was it called again? Like the one right after Revenge of the Sith,
Isn't that just
Dark
Dark
Lord,
Lord,
The
Rise of
Rise of
Darth
Darth
Vader?
Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like that. It's not. I think other people did too. We do get some stuff from Vader's perspective, but most of it is from. We get a very Legends moment where they name random background character. This one was one of the royal guards who's actually there for. He's there for the opera scene in episode 3. His name
Hmm.
is Hallen Goth, and he's the head of the royal guards, which is kind of interesting. And he seems to be an okay dude, which is something I wish they would have explored a bit more. We get some of that towards the very end where he sort of kind of has a reckoning, but he also has this medical condition. He's got this droid, Nines, that he hangs with, and it's kind of funny because the first time we learn about his disease, he wakes up after having a nightmare, and I was like, oh, like he's got anxiety, and he's getting his Chat GPT to give him ivermectin, because of course no one knows that he has this disease, but it turns out it is like he's got really bad progressive heartburn, basically.
Yeah, I can relate.
It's debilitating and it is fatal. So he's basically, and it's progressing extremely quickly in the book. So he's probably been living with this his whole life, or at least part of his life, but it's gotten much, much worse. And he's getting these shots and he keeps needing more and more and more. And at one point, he thinks Vader's going to help him. At one point, he's like, he wants to keep living. So that's kind of the setup. My basic thoughts were it was an okay book. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Um, it's just like at this point, Vader having visions of Padme and Vader like being sad does absolutely fucking nothing for me. Like we've seen Vader have visions. We've seen Vader grapple with this shit over and over and over again. Like it's nothing new. So that part of the book did very little for me. I like some of the new characters, but those are my basic thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, so fundamentally, like, basically the way he thinks, the way that Goth thinks Vader's going to help him is because he knows that Vader's in this life support suit. He stumbles upon. So basically, him and his droid have kind of been looking for droid modules that they can install, and they might have some new treatment options. So they find one of the medical droids that was working on Vader in his suit before Vader just destroyed everything. So pretty much everyone involved in that was killed, and this droid was like the one remaining bit of information they could find. So Goth thinks like, oh, if I can maybe get in Vader's good graces, he can tell me who makes his suits, and then I can live in a suit like this. Uh, but he ultimately realizes that it's just hate and being an edgy boy that keeps Vader alive as much as the suit. Like I don't have the Force, so I'm just gonna go die. So I think like
Yeah.
it's a fun book thematically. I don't know that there's many well developed characters that I got particularly attached to. Like I'm always a fan of the droid, so
Yeah, I like
TC-99
Goth
was a
and
good
Nines.
one.
Yeah.
Goth was fine, but I like if you asked me to tell you like actual character traits of Goth, I couldn't really do it.
Blind
And
loyalty.
yeah,
Goth,
and
yeah, like I sorry, continue.
so the other half of the book is kind of Vader is searching for this powerful temple of like this Force Virgins that Dooku had actually found during the Clone Wars, sent off to anchor in hyperspace, told Palpatine, "Oh, it doesn't gone. That's not a thing." Vader tracks it down, and he
They
thinks
spent
it's going to
half
give him
the
all
book
this
on the
power.
Taljikon Vagabond.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be the thing that finally gives him that power to save Padme. But kind of like you, I mean, maybe I'm not speaking for you as much here, but maybe I'm taking this too far. But I don't find Vader to be a particularly compelling character in general.
No, me neither.
Like
No.
he can't be the Vader that exists between like there's something compelling about stories about Anakin before he becomes Vader, because they you can explore how edgy you want him to be, but after he's Vader, there's like so little you're allowed to do with that once he's in the suit. Like he can't have these soft moments. He does allow them to get away
Well,
on the shuttle, and that's kind of nice. But there can be no like real development for him until Luke shows up.
I was gonna say so. uh, I'll push back very slightly because I do agree. I was surprised at how many uh, not kind moments, but softer moments they did give Vader in this one because this is set right after Revenge of the Sith. Um, and like he has a particular affinity to the same clones yet. Like Commander Oppo's in this one. He's the guy. I'm pretty sure he's the one that goes. I'm sorry, sir. It's time to leave. I think that's him. I can't remember. To Bale in episode 3. I think because he gets his leg chopped off by that little kid, George Lucas's son. Um, and yeah, he is nice to Oppo, and he repairs his leg, and he kind of wants. But even then, it's like he's not. He's kind of doing it as well because he wants his own
Army.
allies within the Empire. But I did still find that interesting. The other part I found interesting too is after they go on their first. So the beginning of the book is they're trying to find this. They call him the resurrectionist or a shaman. They get back to Coruscant. He's kidnapped him, and Vader basically calls Goth to his little lair, and it's really just to hang out. Like, watch me torture this dude, because he's like he's
Mhm.
just there, and like he checks in with him, and then he just starts torturing him, and he's like, I just wanted some company for
Well,
this.
that's all
Basically.
because that's also part of Palpatine's whole thing here, because there is a an underlying struggle between the Sith, as always,
Hmm.
where uh, the book opens with Goth's assignment, or at least Goth's part of the book
With
opens
Dooku
with
first.
his assignment
Yeah.
being watch Vader report back to Palpatine about what Vader does, and then Vader's kind of aware of this, so he's trying to see like is this guy going to be on my team? Is he on Palpatine's team? And so Vader just straight up lies to Palpatine in front of him to see if he'll support his story or not, and he does
Hmm.
because he wants the suit. And then he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go watch the game at my place. We're gonna talk about
Yeah.
our ex-wives."
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one part of the book. It starts off. There's basically this virgins on the planet Deso, which Dooku has. The book starts off near the end of the Clone Wars, which I kind of forgot for a second that this book was set right after the Clone
Yep,
Wars. It's really only a year or two. I think they say 2 years
2 years since
uh,
the digging up of the
between the.
temple.
Yeah, and he has it on this weird ship. I did find so Dooku has this. They have got this ship that's basically hidden in hyperspace, which I thought was a cool idea. Um, that's why I called it the Taljikon Vagabond because it is kind of similar in that like it's very difficult to navigate. The walls keep shifting and whatnot, and the sections in it are super boring.
Yeah.
Being the other similarity. Um, I liked the book until it got up to that point, and then I felt like it really lost a bit of the juice.
Once they got to the temple in hyperspace.
Yeah. Because like I found like for a while like for one I thought it was a bit contrived that they all got there, but I mean Star Wars books always do that, so it is what it is. I just felt like at a certain point the motivation of the main characters, especially the mother and daughter from
Yeah,
Deso, just like stopped making any sort of sense.
yeah.
So basically, there are three parties on the in the temple. There's or on the like the station. There's Vader and the 501st. There is Goth and he's kind of tricked to and like this part I thought was a bit silly. He basically tricks two people from DSO who also happen to have a very unique technology which will help them find the station in hyperspace. And then there's two people from Cybot Galactica, like the droid manufacturers, who are looking for this old super tactical droid from the Confederacy, which I think is an interesting story on its own. Like the idea of there being this super tactical droid hidden in this research, like in hyperspace, all things, that's cool. It ends up completely being something just to pad out length in this book. At least that's what it felt like to me. They all make it to the station. They all have their own motivations. But like with Goth, for example, you never really know. Like he goes back and forth between like wanting to help these two women because the shaman was their father and husband. Between wanting to help them to wanting to protect Vader, and it's just like at some point, like why are they still following him around? Why are they trying to help him?
Yeah.
Um,
He
yeah, it was
basically he tells them like, "Oh, uh, Vader has your husband. We need to go rescue him." And then once they get to the place, like he tells them, "Oh, actually, Vader killed him, and I was there when all this was going. Like I'm part of the party that came when Vader captured your husband." And they seem very like not accepting of this necessarily. Like, "Hey, don't you lie to us again, or else we're gonna have troubles, buddy." And yeah, their motivation for being there just feels like I know why they want to be there for Vader, but their motivation to ever trust Goth again, there wasn't really any fallout from that. And part of it is
no.
because it's at a part of the book where like there's other things to get done, but it did feel like okay, well they're here
But
and
it's like also like at that point, why do they even care? Like,
yeah.
yeah, like take one of their ships and leave. Really,
Well, they
I
want to
also
kill
didn't
Vader.
really understand how they're like. I didn't really understand how they've got like it's got like called a gravity lasso, and they're like kind of a basic civilization. They're not basic, but I mean they don't have full scale hyperdrives. They jump to like their distant moons.
Yeah.
I don't really understand how the gravity lasso is meant to help them find this station, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's letting them navigate within hyperspace in a way.
Yeah,
But the way they describe it is that within their system, they use them to just not jump into the moons. So you kind of
yeah,
solo slingshot your way towards them, the same way that any other hyperdrive would pull you out if you're going to collide with something.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, this lets them go to this ship that is anchored within hyperspace, and that's part of the reason they want um, the CSA people and from Cybot Galactica uh, want the super tactical droid because it has this data on how to make these hyperspace anchors and be able to stay in there. But the droid's name is Sarnath, which
Yeah.
is like a Buddhist thing. Like it's a Buddhist pilgrimage site.
I just kept
So
thinking
it's
of the Lovecraft story, The Doom That Came to Sarnath.
maybe that was more of the influence, but I mean they're that's probably also just based
Yeah.
on the Buddhist one, but like yeah, so what did you think about DSO as this other locate this Force Virgins and this kind of local populace that has their own Force traditions?
Whatever. It was fine. Yeah, it was interesting. Like the first time they went, I just it didn't really feel very fleshed out. Like they go there. The resurrectionist is kind of cool. We don't really understand fully what his gig ends up being because he doesn't resurrect anyone, and
Very
that wasn't really
disappointing.
their plan either. Yeah, because like the whole thing is obviously Vader. Like his entire thing is like he wants his dead wife. Wow, wow, wow. He was groomed by her. Whatever. And we can talk about that later. But yeah, he wants his wife back. She's dead. So obviously, so Palpatine sends him after the resurrectionist. You know, Palpatine knows what he's doing, of course, but under the guise of, hey, take care of this. Like, you got to go kill more Jedi or more Force sensitive people. And then obviously Vader wants to learn more. And I did kind of like I didn't mind not having Vader's perspective because I agree that like Vader's kind of boring, especially at this point. Like he's singularly focused. Yeah, he's in pain and he's using his pain. Like we get it. But I like seeing how other characters react to him. I thought it was interesting that the Royal Guardsman wasn't scared of him really at all. Um, but that whole introductory sequence ends with him killing everyone on the planet, or not like he destroys much of the planet, like one of this population centers. And so yeah, I felt like after that we didn't really learn a whole lot about the Force traditions, other than the daughter is Force sensitive, and she's still out there at the end of the book.
Yeah, like their family is supposed to be, or this lineage is supposed to be the keepers of this temple. That's what the shaman's
Yeah,
role is until he gets the B1 helmet or B1 head that he puts on his headdress, which is always broadcasting these
yeah.
coordinates to him that have the underlying code for how to get to this space in hyperspace. But like it just felt very like too similar to what the Sith and Jedi already understand the Force to be.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, they when they meet Goth, it seems like they're about to say, uh, they're part of the this tradition of mystic. We have this power called whatever, and you think you're about to
Hmm.
get something more like, even just like what the acolyte calls it, like that kind of
Yeah.
thing, where they're not just copying directly how Jedi and Sith see the Force and how like Night Sisters have their magic and stuff. And it's just like it's a different name, but it also reflects that they think about it a different way. Whereas for them, it's like, yes, we have this mystical force. We have the Force. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I don't know if
Yeah.
but it does seem like the temple is supposed to be an ancient Sith area, right? Because it has Urkitat on
Well,
the
yeah.
ruins, so it probably kind of evolved over
Well,
time into this other tradition.
well, it's described at first, or at one point, it's described like the temple was built to contain it,
Yeah.
um, which like as if it's like a malevolent entity almost.
Hmm.
And I think that would have been, interesting if if you've been spending generations around this dark power, like let's do something I think interesting with that. Um, because yeah, like to me, I agree that they just come off as different, like Jedi, but not Jedi, which is a problem Legends had some with many of their Force traditions too. You do get some like truly weird ones, like the what are the ones who do the little teleportation?
The Yang T.
Ang T, yeah, like the Ang T, but yeah, a lot of the time it ends up just being Jedi, but who aren't Jedi.
Yeah. And I mean, they feel, I don't know, I wanted to like Ashuna, the daughter, as a character, but they
They
never
just
really
didn't.
got
Yeah, they've got no
all that much to
personality.
do.
Yeah.
Uh, like the mother Zaroon is very very focused on revenge, and like the temple is just supposed to represent that like that Vader can't actually control the dark side, neither can Palpatine. Like he's there thinking he's going to become the master of this vengeance. He's going to be the master of evil, but instead he's just prey to the fear and anger that he lives in now. Palpatine kind of as well. He's just manipulating everyone, but what's he really going to get out of it? He's just there for a laugh. The
Yeah.
Goth is just consumed by his desire to not fucking die. What a nerd.
Hmm.
Zaroon is consumed by her want of revenge. Keel is looking for his uh, control of the galaxy through building a droid army, which I guess it'll work this time, I swear.
I can't take like, oh no, it's a super tactical droid. Like listen, I've seen super tactical droids, Kalani in Clone Wars and Rebels. Like they're smart, but like they're not
Well, they
that
thought
smart.
they'd make the Empire rely on their manufacturing as well. Like, okay, I feel like we just finished trying this. Let's take a breather.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
has unrealistic expectations. So as much as they're like being slave to negative emotions is part of it, unrealistic expectations are the real villain in this book.
Yeah. Like Goth especially, because he's like the dude's on the brink of death, and he's like Vader will save me. Uh, probably not. Like I don't know, like maybe ask the Emperor. Like
You'd think
I
they'd
don't know.
have good health insurance as the Royal Guard.
Yeah, bro's basically reading comics to like try to figure it out because he's got nines going through all these old data chips basically, and most of them are complete nonsense,
Yeah, they're like
which
going
I
from
thought
this
was fun.
almanac, and it's.
Yeah, it's like fully made up, which I did think was fun, but
But I think one the fact that he was like the commander of the Royal Guards didn't really impact the book all that much. Like it felt like he
no,
could have just been a different Royal Guard who was given this assignment to watch Vader.
yeah,
And like there's stuff that you'd think he probably would have been responsible for. Other than like one passage where he decides he's gonna spend a month or two on desk work, where like the fact that he was in charge of the Royal Guards never really plays into it at all.
yeah. Also, he clearly would have died in that time.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
You never know. Sometimes you bounce back a little bit, get a second wind, and
yeah,
then it goes away.
yep, yeah. Bad heartburn, I guess.
Have we really had any other Star Wars books that deal with like chronic illness the same way or in any way? Well, I felt
Gotta
like
have
that was
been
a fairly
something.
new angle, but I don't know how well it really represented chronic illness because, like, as soon as he felt slightly bad, he just takes the medicine, and it's like, oh, and now I feel great. I don't have my heartburn for the moment, and I'll just take more this time until it's like
I feel like
fully
there's
done.
gotta have been something.
Like there's
He,
potentially Trusa Bakura with some of the attachment stuff and like
yeah,
the sick people through that,
Tahiri
but
having to constantly be
yeah,
medicated.
I don't know
That's a good.
if Rena
I feel like
Quad
there's
I'm
gotta have
considering like
been
a
something.
terminal illness.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because most of the time you just
Yeah,
fucking dunk in some Bacta and you're fine.
yeah, no, it's true. I feel like there have been. I'm just thinking, like, I feel like there have been some diseases though that I'm gonna think about that and see if I can think of anything for
Aside from
next.
like the immediate death plagues, like death seed
Yeah,
virus and that kind of thing, where it's just like a quick horrible death, like not
I
the
guess like in a way,
actual
Boba.
illness. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Boba's multiple cancers when he turns into mostly a tumor.
Multiple cancers. I just
Clone
there's one
cancer,
that's like on the edge of my memory, but
one that you're
can't I
edging
can't
towards.
yeah, one I'm edging towards. I'm getting close.
Diseases and maladies. Let's see. Force strain is the first one. The rat ghoul plague. Hangover. Hangover. So there's hangover, then there's hangover legends. Hemorrhagic molting, Heskin fever, hibernation sickness, Bledsoe's disease. Anyways, this is not the point.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Ton Fannin is allergic to Bacta, so he's got to get cybernetics. I forgot about that.
That's gotta suck.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we've got this miracle thing. By the oh, you can't use it.
Fucking
Sucks
loser.
for you.
Like the it is a book that goes very heavily into its theme, like uh not just themes but allegory,
Yeah,
I guess. So everything is very representative, and then some of the character work kind of takes a back seat to that.
yeah,
But
yeah. Like I don't know. To me, it I just I was reading this and I was like, okay, like he's obviously a great writer. Adam Christopher is a good writer, at least
yeah,
by Star Wars standards. Like I'm not ever shaking my head and like oh, like this is amateur hour. I'm never really bored, but just nothing really new in this. That like the idea like I thought the hyperspace stuff was a cool idea. The droid stuff could have been interesting, but it wasn't executed well. So I don't know. Like I would have liked to learn more about we've got a unique perspective as someone who is a royal guardsman. He was there in the temple for Order 66. He's there as the Order is switching over. At first, by the way, I thought, because we first learn about his illness after he has like a flashback to Order 66. So I thought he had PTSD or something similar at first. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. It's just nothing. It's not bad. There wasn't anything really new and exciting for me. I guess would be my biggest complaint.
Yeah, like I think for me, I was getting fairly into the whole like mystery element of it, of like, oh, what is this temple about? How did it get here? Why is it so important to the Sith? Like
Yeah.
what was Dooku think he would get out of it? What is Vader now thinking he's gonna get out of it, other than like the resurrection shaman stuff? Like
Mm.
what's not necessarily the mechanism, but like what is it that makes this thing unique compared to other dark side hotspots? And it turned out to kind of just be a Virgins, which is like, okay, well, that makes the temple itself more of a MacGuffin rather than having
Yeah.
anything interesting going on per se. Because like we've seen Virginses before, we already kind of know what their deal is. Um, and then you have like the mystery of like, oh, uh, Nines and Goth are trying to find out what happened with Vader when he was getting reconstructed, but ultimately the answer for like how that applies to him is just like, oh yeah, it's the dark side. We're not getting anywhere. So a lot of it is like, again, this is what the themes are going for, this disappointment, but it is still kind of it's a disappointing conclusion to some of those plot lines, not just for the characters, but feeling a little bit like a letdown for the reader as well, because you're kind of getting interested in a thing where you already know the outcome for a lot of it.
Yeah.
You don't know that you
Yeah.
know
That.
the outcome. It's just the outcome to these interesting elements turns out to be something that you've seen many times before.
Yeah. Two things. One thing, I thought of somebody else. Um, the girl from Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
Remember,
Okay.
she's got
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
medicine. But yeah, like for me, I guess I always just figured they were going to go with Virgins, like
Yeah.
Dark Side Hotspot, and nothing too much deeper than that. Some of the droid stuff was interesting too. Like they have like a Lobot kind of character who ends up getting hijacked by a droid, and we never really seen that because he's got the the neural link.
Yeah.
He's got they've tested it on monkeys, and now it's him, and
Yeah. He's got the
he's been
Neuralink,
hijacked
and
by Grok.
then Grok made some child born in his brain.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah. All
It's
these
fine, I
clankers
guess.
everywhere. Just it's one
Yep.
trying to take over the people.
Yep.
It
It.
was a bit jarring sometimes thinking like what the actual time difference between some of it was, because it almost
Mhm.
feels like you go from the Dooku scene to like 10, 15 years later, and then you have the ship kind of rotting in
Yeah.
hyperspace. Like no, it's just 2 years, and it's because the dark side in the temple is kind of seeping into the rest of the ship, causing a coolant leak.
Yeah, you see, like that's where I think they could have made something interesting because like the dark side corrupting everything is a neat idea, and then they also mentioned well hyperspace, like had a kind of it held it off for a bit. Like people don't usually spend a whole lot of time in hyperspace except for traveling. They could have done something interesting where like if they're in hyperspace in this ship for a long time, maybe they're you know experiencing some weird effects of that because hyperspace is this weird thing and they
Yeah.
treat like traveling into they're going into another dimension and visiting a ship which is you never really I think they could have done some interesting stuff with that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, like it seemed to me as if that was the big thing that Keel, the Cybot Galactica guy, was going for, was like infinite space to expand into because he's
Yeah.
got some plans for hyperspace. But he kind of gets introduced when Vader and Goth go to the CSA, they're tracking down this signal because the Techno Union would have the way to interpret these coordinates, and they all their stuff got sold off to Cybot Galactica, or at least this division that would have that information did. So we get introduced to Keel there, and
Yeah.
Vader gives them these coordinates, or Vader wants them to translate the coordinates. And this is something that Keel has apparently been working on for a while, trying to track this signal. And now they
Hmm.
finally have the actual coordinates since Vader came in. But we kind of
Yeah.
go from that to Keel kind of just taking off and going to the location. It would have been nice to get a bit more fleshing out of what the implications of that technology might directly be. Because we
Hmm.
really just get the kind of vague sense of, like, oh, this will help me take over the galaxy. And I do think there's something interesting to the potential for that technology, because it is something that Star Wars has started to explore a little bit more, but we haven't seen a ton of
Hmm.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, agreed. Um, you could have made it. You know, could have made it a bit silly. Like it's a fun premise. So get silly with it. I don't know. My thoughts.
Yeah. Not very silly at all. He just went and died.
Yeah, and like again, I find hyperspace like there were some fun stories. I'm trying to think, like in the Black Fleet Crisis, where they send Neil Spar into the
Yeah.
hyperspace escape pod, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna like good luck. Like when the second they get on the space station, or it's not a space station, like on the research ship, it ends up being like they're just in normal space, and I think they could have, like, if I were writing it, I would have, maybe because like the ship is it's weird where it can reconfigure itself. I think it would have been more fun if the ship was just like, you know moving around because it's in another dimension or
Yeah.
something.
And I took initially the reconfiguration to be like, oh, this is part of its ability to expand its cargo hold and change the shape of the cargo hold to fit the station, because it gets described as, or to fit the temple, because it gets described when they're approaching it as like a stepped pyramid.
Yeah,
And then it's like, oh no, that's just the rest of the ship does that, and then the cargo hold is there, and that's where the temple is. So I was a
yeah.
bit thrown off by that. But it just seems like a very complicated ship to try to keep up for. I don't know what game they're really getting out of it at that point.
So I guess Dooku hit it there, planning to go back at some point.
Yeah,
Is what we're meant to take away. Yeah, yeah.
that was
Okay.
gonna that vergence, I guess, was gonna help him take down Palpatine.
Dooku's such a fucking simp.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
nice to see him taking some of his own initiative, right? Because like you
yeah.
never think he's gonna step out of the nest and really try to
Takes
overthrow
initiative,
Palpatine.
immediately dies.
Well, who knows exactly when in the war that was? Could have been like 6 months before he dies.
It's
He
true.
could have
Yeah.
had a whole long life ahead of him.
Well, I think so. I read that one of the Star Wars. I think Star Wars Insider's over. I think, but I think one of the final issues
I don't
confirmed
think
this was
they
19. Isn't it? Didn't they end it?
did they end it? I don't think they ended it.
I thought they did. Anyway,
Maybe.
I think it was confirmed that this was taking place in 19.
Okay.
So, and they said it's been a couple of years. So
I'm 19. They could still be like January of 19
yeah, that's true.
ABY, and then Dooku
Yeah.
dies in July. There's still months. Oh no, it did
Well,
end.
I'm
It
saying he had
ends.
it hidden for 2 years.
It ends in 26. So we got 4 more months of Insider.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sure they'll relaunch it at some point.
Yeah, Star Wars Outsider, and then they have Star Wars
I've
Far
died.
Outsider
What? I've died before. Whatever Palpatine says in the Rise of Skywalker.
in Dark
I got a
Empire.
question for you, Corey.
Okay,
What happens to Hux in the Rise of Skywalker?
what happens to Hux in the Rise of Skywalker? Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Do you know?
uh wanted him to lose. I don't know. Probably dies.
I was watching it, but so my son is in a massive Star Wars phase. Graham, he calls it Baby Yoda. I know I said it before, but he's just like Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. I can turn anything on. We've watched everything, everything. So I'm like, all right, do the Rise of Skywalker. I was like, man, what the fuck happens to Hux? This movie's so bad. I don't even remember. He gets killed by the new guy, the new Imperial guy.
Pride.
Um, Yeah.
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah. He just turns around and shoots him. He's walking in the room and he just turns around. He grabs a rifle, turns around and shoots him.
Same TBH.
Another fucking dumbass moment in that movie is so they've got the guys in a firing squad ready, like basically ready to kill them. There's like 6 stormtroopers, and Hux is like, "Let me do it. I want to do it." And he takes the gun, and they're like, it's focusing on the heroes, and you hear shoot, 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 and it's like turns around, and somehow Hux has gunned down 7 stormtroopers before one. Like, uh, anyway,
Truly one of the Star Wars movies of all time.
yeah,
I I thought the first half of that movie was very fun. And then the second
yeah.
half of that movie has a lot of stuff where I was just like, why did you have to do this? But
I like the. I like the visit to the sand planet. That part's fine. Giant snake. Why not? I like part of the and then it goes off the rails really quickly.
yeah. I just want to know what my opinion of the movie would be if they hadn't done the Zeiston. Would that have erased a bunch of sins for me? I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. So any other particulars about Master of Evil we want to go over?
No.
It's a
It's
fairly straightforward book. It has
yeah,
one plot and like 4 actual characters. So
yeah.
there's
I I would have liked. So at the end, they kind of give the main guy a bit of a. I mean, not really a redemption. He's well.
he
At the
does
end,
kind of
he
decide that the
realizes
Empire is just
Empire.
keeping things in through fear.
Yeah, like bro, you saw all the dead kids in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a cop out. Like all the things he's done, he's seen Vader slaughter dozens of people. I don't know. I thought that was. I would have liked. I don't know. I would have liked that to be handled.
That's
In
always something that really falls flat for me of like the vilification of the Jedi of like, oh, they look at how they made these children fight, like Appo is saying. Like,
yeah,
bro, but you just slaughtered them all. Like,
yeah,
you could have put even like the slightest effort into capturing them, and you didn't. And like Anakin
mhm,
makes no goddamn sense as far as that goes either. So it just yeah. So the fact that
mhm.
he's realizing at the end, like, wait a minute, are we the bad guys? Is the Empire just ruling through fear? Like, yeah, man, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
But
That's why you were at the public lightsaber burning ceremony a few weeks ago.
he does sacrifice himself uh to allow Vader and Ashuna and Nines to get out. And I did like that it wasn't the droid sacrificing himself, like taking his freedom to save his former master. I like that the droid got to get out this time. I was very happy about that. And now him and Ashuna are going to be out in the galaxy doing whatever, because it does save her from a lifetime of Vader apprenticeship, which is kind of where it seemed like the book was going ever since she was introduced. And I thought I thought she was going to become some sort of little dark acolyte, and she does not.
Yeah.
They
I
get
thought
to
it was really
travel the
cool
galaxy.
how Vader just lets her go.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He has a little bit of a heart left. She
Yeah.
feels it in him that there's this little bit of love that he's trying to deny himself, and maybe
Yeah.
someday a kid will come along, be annoying, and really
You see,
let that burn.
that is one thing that I liked about the book, I think, a bit more than you did. There were like some moments where I was like, we've seen Vader, 18 years later plus in the original trilogy, and he's killing people left and right, like his own
Yeah,
men. Like, I don't think this Vader was quite, slaughter anybody who, you know, doesn't listen to my order immediately.
yeah. I do think this is the time to do it if you're going to.
Yeah.
Um, but
He's
yeah,
still new.
but I feel like if you're going to go that route, then there's maybe more you can do. But it's also like the whole thing of the character once he's in the suit is that he's got to be this badass. You can't have him crying quite as much. I just want him to cry. I want
Yeah.
to add a tear to
I'm also
the
fucking
book.
tired of Vader having his his faceplate slightly broken with one
Yeah.
of his eyes visible. I'm like, all right, it was interesting. Star Wars Rebels did it. Star Wars Rebels and Kenobi did it the best.
Yeah. Well, because
Um,
it's just a visual thing, right? So
yeah, but it's been done.
you
So
get once
let's
per
move on.
medium type.
Yeah, it's like Vader like wakes up the wrong side of the bed. It's got a cracked eyepiece.
Yeah. Right. What are you? So I was gonna do a thing where I guess what your score was, but you already told, so that doesn't
Why did you
matter.
think I disliked it so much? That's what I'm curious about.
You seem when you started reading it, you sounded very depressed about it. You got to like 100 pages in, and you basically just called it shit in the
It was
group chat. I
boring.
thought,
I
and then you
said it
came
was
into my
boring.
stream. You're like, "Have you started reading it yet?" It seemed like there was a lot of stink in that message.
No stink.
A stink.
So it reminds me a lot of the Bad Batch one that I really liked in style of writing and in kind of a non-consequential
Yeah, I can
adventure.
see that.
The difference being I cared a lot less about these characters than I do the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So I was kind of between a B and a C. Like I think for me, for something to reach from a C to a B, it's got to be a clear recommend to a Star Wars fan.
Okay. I
Like,
can.
like if you like Darth Vader, like I think here's the difference for me. For an A, I would recommend it to like almost any Star Wars fan. Read this book. For a B, it's like if you're interested in the subject matter or like you're really into Star Wars book, read this one. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if I can recommend this book to someone who's a fan of Star Wars books. Like if you're really interested in Darth Vader and there's to be fair, there's not a whole lot else to read right now, pick this up. Otherwise, I don't know. It's hard to recommend it. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have a bad time if you do, just because again, Adam Christopher, he's a good Star Wars writer, and he doesn't waste your time. Which besides for I guess that one subplot. So, but anyway, it's gonna be a C for me.
All right, that's fair. You almost won me down to a C, but I think I am gonna go with my original feeling of B. I think it's a fun read. I think it has some strong themes, but some weaker characters. It's a little as strong as the themes are. It's more that it knows what it wants to do with them. So it does feel a little on the nose sometimes. A lot of the times, because like Kangley's, I meant to bring this up. It's one of the few notes that I actually took. Like Kangley's gives you a sensation of burning. It's like okay, because let's
Yeah,
Vader
yeah,
burns on Mustafar.
yeah.
So but yeah, so other like I did enjoy it though, and I do think it's recommendable.
I will
So
say I like the droid. I like the relationship between the droid and the
Goth,
droid, yeah, and Goth. It was that was you know he's supposed to be this badass guardsman, and he's got this very soft relationship with this droid where
hmm
they're holding hands and stuff all the time. Yeah, I did like that. We could have got more guard stuff too. Yeah. So B
well,
for you, C for me, and
that's where we're landing.
yep. So what should we do next week? I
What
wonder.
should we do next week? Do we have another book in us?
If there's an audiobook, I can get another one done. I think we could do Dark Lord.
That's a bit too much Vader for me. I think. And
Okay.
I mean, we could. How long is it?
I think it's pretty long.
Thing.
Trying to think of what we could do. Another. We got a lot of canon books to catch up on. Um, could get you started on. I don't really want to start on Aftermath.
Aftermath. Like I'd like to do a book, but I'd like to do one that's around 300 pages, not 400 plus.
How
Which
long is the Thrawn? The first Thrawn book. Um, the first Thrawn canon trilogy book. Oh, that's 448. Never mind. All right, let's hear. New year, new us. Let's figure it out tonight or tomorrow, and let's
no,
actually
that's
tweet
not
it
new
out.
us. That's not new us. New us is actually announcing what we're going to do and then sticking to it. I'm
That's what I mean. Okay, well we could do.
yeah.
How long's New Rebellion?
New Rebellion is too long. You know what isn't too long?
What?
Cross Current.
Okay.
We're
Does,
doing Cross Current. It's fucking weird.
didn't Ilkin want to be on for that one though?
He might want to. We can tell him it's
Okay.
happening, and then if he's not around, too
All
bad.
right.
We'll
It
definitely
is
have him on
not the
for
year
Fate
of
of the
Ilkin.
Jedi. So
It's not the year of Ilkin.
Fate of the Jedi, we have to plan around Ilkin, but we
Yeah.
can do Cross Current, and we can
Okay,
try to
Cross Current it is.
alternate until we start Fate of the Jedi. Let's alternate canon and Legends. How about that?
Okay. At some point, I do want to do Shadows of the Empire,
Okay.
and I want to do an episode on the book and the game. 2 separate episodes.
Okay. We can do that.
So
Are we going
I
to
know you're not much of a
stream? Are we going
gamer.
to co-stream the game?
Well, like take turns.
No, like we each play and stream, and we're both just kind of playing it.
Maybe do something like that. Hold hands, maybe.
Yeah, obviously.
Kiss each other on the lips.
Well, that's
All right.
the extra members content.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Corey's channel and subscribe on your podcast platforms. And I got a pee, so let's wrap this up.
All right, we'll be live on X2 in a little bit, playing some Hightail, which is not Minecraft. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. Read Cross Current for next week. Bye.